your most painful moments can also turn into your biggest gifts, your most passionate endeavors, your most amazing things that you're capable of in this world, the best things you can create in this world come from some of your most painful moments. So I just want to encourage you guys on here who have been wanting to change the way that they look at their past and have been wanting to have some healing, have been wanting to not let their past hold them back anymore, but haven't quite stepped over the line, haven't quite invested, haven't quite started that process yet. Maybe you've gone to counseling, maybe you've done some things a while back, but you're noticing that it's still showing up in your life, right? And so I want to encourage you guys today that your most painful moments can also be your best gift to the world. And why I know this, why I know this is because I would never have imagined that I would be sitting here today sharing my story of going through childhood abuse online. Like, you guys listen, in Summer's on here now. She's been through my whole journey of my process of sharing and opening up. But I just want to encourage you guys, like, I would never have been able to share this if I didn't turn around my mindset about my past. Because up until about 3-4 years ago, I was like, I can't believe this happened to me. This is going to affect me for the rest of my life. I felt like actually the abuse was like on my shoulder, right? Like I felt like my past I was carrying it around all the time with me. It was exhausting. Everywhere I went, every relationship I had, friendship or romantic relationship, or like my relationship with Eric, I felt like the abuse was like on my shoulder and it was exhausting to carry around. And so I want to encourage you guys right now, if you guys still feel like your past is holding you back, I encourage you guys to look at it differently. And this is how. My painful past experiences has actually made me so much stronger to be able to be here supporting others. As you guys know, I'm a performance coach and speaker, international speaker for women who've gone through painful past experiences, particularly abuse, right? So I speak around the world about this. I speak and share my story because I know that it's made me stronger. Not because I need sympathy, not because whatever else. Like, you know, a lot of times you're going to hear all the people who aren't ready to share their stories, and who maybe are raised in a different generation, that they're like, why are you sharing this stuff online? It's too much to share online. You just, you know, it happens to all of us. 1 out of 4 women have gone through abuse. Why are you talking about it, right? And then I just, you know, I get to lovingly ask them the question, like, how did that turn out for you? How did that turn out not sharing your story? How did that turn out not opening up? Because that just simply doesn't work, holding it in. What we resist persists. And so when I was resisting working on myself, when I was resisting sharing my story out loud, when I was looking at my story as a negative and it's something that happened to me and that as a victim, there was no way for me to show up powerfully in this world. Whether that was just like in my business or with my fitness or personally, there was no way for me to show personally, powerfully for myself when I didn't believe that my past had made me stronger. When I was still believing that my past had made me broken and weak and disgusting and all those things, and felt a lot of shame and guilt about my past. I wasn't able to show up for myself. So what I want to encourage you guys to do today is change it around. Realize that it's actually made you stronger. It's made you who you are today so that you can show up for yourself first. You get to show up for yourself first. You don't just get to sacrifice yourself anymore for others. Because I know oftentimes after abuse and women do this really well in general, that we like to make sure everyone around us is okay before we check on ourselves. So how many of you guys can comment below if you check on everybody else around you before you check on yourself? Because I know that that's very common and it simply does not work, right? You start resenting helping people. You start getting exhausted. You start getting angry. And the people around you are like, what's going on? And you're like, well, I've just been giving all the time and I'm exhausted, right? So first of all, you check on yourself and you realize that your past has made you stronger to show up for yourself even more. You get to break the chains of abuse and painful past experiences. which means you get to go through a process with somebody. You don't have to do this alone, but you get to actually break the chains of your abuse. There's energy behind when you've gone through painful past experiences, and there's energy ties around that, and you get to break those so that you can release and you can move forward. Okay, so that's one of the things you get to do with somebody. And also you get to see how you can use your story to support others. The biggest part of my healing journey, or I guess the thing that tied it all together, you could say, is when I started to actually show up and share my story publicly and started coaching women through it. So that was the moment I was like, wow, okay, this is full circle, right? So it was like a full circle effect of me working on myself, looking at the things that weren't working in my life, the painful things that weren't working in my life. And yes, it wasn't an easy journey, but we can do hard things. So I looked at the things that weren't working and I healed and worked on myself, and I'm still continuing to heal and work on myself. It's not like I hit this point that I was like done, past, healed, right? So it's a healing journey, not a sprint. And so I'm still on that, just to encourage you guys. And when you decide to start that journey, you get to continue and realize that it's a healing journey, so that you don't just have to be like, okay, when is it going to be over? I know the number one thing that my clients ask is like, okay, so after this year-long program, then I'm going to be fully healed, right? And I'm like, wrong. I wish I could say like after a year, absolutely, you're going to be transformed and have an amazing, amazing year in my coaching programs and have a lot of healing and freedom. I just talked to one of my clients today who was like, it's only been 3 months and look at me. I'm completely different. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Because she chose to show up for herself. She chose to put in the work. She chose to invest financially in herself. She chose to do these things. So yes, absolutely, you will see amazing results in a year. And you get to continue going. You get to continue showing up. So when you start realizing that your voice matters and that your past experiences has made you stronger, you also get to share that. And just to encourage you guys, it's not always on a public platform. It doesn't just mean live on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, that'd be amazing, because you never know who's watching, who could use your story, and who could absolutely, it could save their lives. And what if it was a friend? What if it's a family? What if it was a spouse? What if it was one person that you got to share your story with and it absolutely changed your life? So if you could share your story with one person, or if you could just share your story and it could help one person, would you do it? That was the question I asked myself 3 years ago when I started this journey. And it's just been an amazing journey of continuing sharing my story and creating programs and really showing up powerfully for women. And so I also want to encourage you, if you're at the step of wanting to do something and wanting to share your story and wanting to transform lives, then you also get support. Whether you're on your healing journey, so if you're on your healing journey, I absolutely would love to support you in that, showing up powerfully. If you're a powerful, strong leader and you're showing up for everybody else around you and not yourself, I would love to talk to you about what my programs look like and support you in that way. So reach out to me if this message pertains to you, and if you feel connected at all, if you've seen my messages and you're like, it's time for me to show up powerfully in my life and have support to do so, I would love to talk about what coaching with me would look like. And if you are a coach, or if you're somebody who's already started in their healing journey and they're ready to actually go out and share more, still, we can connect and see what you're wanting to do, and I would love to support you there. If you have any questions, of course, about my coaching programs or anything that I'm up to in this world, I would love to support you in showing up powerfully and realizing that your voice really, really matters right now. So thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.